coming out and doing this for this long, and I know she's going to help us bring it to the finish line today. So thank you very much, Senator Savino, and please.
Thank you, Beth. Good morning, everyone. You know, you guys did such a great job of explaining the bill and explaining the reason behind the bill. I don't have to do it again. It's true. You know, 27 and a half years ago, I made a decision to become a public employee. I took a job with the City of New York as a caseworker in the city's child welfare system. And I remember at the time when I joined the workforce, and I didn't actually join the pension system right away. How many of you are retired government employees? A lot of you. So you remember, if you came in as a provisional employee, you didn't have to join the pension system right away. You had to do it once you became a permanent employee, and you kind of decided, well, I could use that extra 3% salary in my paycheck every 2 weeks, right? Because that's how young people think. They always think that they know better. They think that they can outlast the calendar. But I also remember thinking, I got this job, I'm working for the government, I'm not making as much money as some of my friends in the private sector. And they had all sorts of fancy plans. They didn't have a pension. They had this newfangled 401k. And I remember my sister and my cousin bragging about the benefits they were getting from their employers, because back then employers had to compete for their workforce. They needed to find ways to attract people to work for them. And so they thought they had it so much better than me until the first economic collapse, and then the second one. And then when they borrowed money from their 401k, and here they are closer to retirement than they ever thought, and they really don't have a secure retirement. Where I, on the other hand, still work for the government. So I have a pension, and my pension is guaranteed. It's guaranteed not only by the returns on the fund, which are doing well, they're guaranteed by the New York State Constitution. So I have peace of mind like many of you do. And that's a message I want you to give to people today. You don't have to do this. The vast majority of you already have retirement plans that are going to protect you. You are here because you understand what's at stake for seniors everywhere, for those who don't have that pension or didn't have an employer that felt it was important to help provide for them in their retirement. You heard the statistics on black and brown people. You understand what's really at stake. And that's what we need to drive home. I've been carrying this bill for a few years now, as Beth said. And every time this bill was brought up, there was a room full of people in red shirts to help move it out of committee or move it along. And I want to thank you for your efforts and your advocacy. And now we've captured the attention of the governor. I don't know, maybe as he's getting closer to retirement age, he's starting to think about it too. He just turned 60. Although he's got plenty of money, but you know, the older you get, the more you think about these things. And you say, you know what, I'm not the 28-year-old who went to work for the city anymore, or I'm not the 25-year-old who thinks I'm going to be a master of the universe. You know, the calendar catches up to us all pretty quickly. And the facts are this: most seniors don't have a secure retirement plan. They don't have the income that they need to be able to live decently in this city. How do we know that? Because we spend an awful lot of time addressing those issues. In the past 5 years, I've carried the legislation to lift the income level for seniors who live in rent-stabilized and rent-regulated housing in the City of New York, the SCREE program, the Senior Citizen Rent Increase Exemption Program, and the Disability Rent Increase Exemption Program. In addition to that, last year, I was happy and proud to carry the legislation to lift the income eligibility for senior homeowners and disabled homeowners in the City of New York. Far too many seniors are overburdened in their rent, or their property taxes are exceeding their income. So for those who have a retirement plan, they're struggling. Imagine for those who don't. That's what this is about. It is about making sure that people have a fair shake in society, in the state that we call the most progressive in the nation. So thank you for coming and joining us today. As you go around today speaking to legislators, remind them they have a secure choice retirement in the pension system. And all we're asking is that we extend that opportunity to everyone in the state of New York. That's what's fair. Thank you.
So well said. Perfect. Is that well said or what, right? She went right to the heart of it. Thank you so much, Senator Savino. And Staten Island volunteers, give her an extra wave. All right. Okay. So we also have the Assembly co-sponsor, Assembly Member Rodriguez, who unfortunately could not be here today, but but you know that he's working behind the scenes constantly to make this happen. And again, as I said before, his leader, Speaker Heastie, was very clear that the Assembly is absolutely behind it and supporting it. And I quote, he said, "We're supportive of it, and I believe if the Senate is okay, it will be in the final budget." So remember that when you go out and do your visits today, okay? And that's still a big if. I know we want to take it for granted. I love Reggie's positive attitude. I agree with it. I'm always a cup half full kind of person, but we got to get it down those last 10 yards, and that's what we're here to do today. So now really what we want to know is, why is this so important for small business owners? And we are so fortunate that we have a small business owner with us today. You know, we surveyed small business owners across New York State, and in fact we found out that 73% of them are in favor of this. So wherever you go, don't let anyone tell you small businesses don't want this, because you know what? We have the proof. We have the survey. 73% of them want it, and I'll remind you again, it is voluntary for companies. So if they don't want it,